Today is Wednesday, October the 14th, and I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. All right, when I tell you today has been a trip, it's been a trip. It's been so much of a trip that I had to change my daily thought because I already had something that I planned on discussing. But after everything that happened this morning and throughout the night, I was like, oh, hell no. I have to talk about this. Because, yeah. But before I go into that, let me go ahead and do the usual. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. You can listen to all of the Keeping It Real with KC episodes, along with the supplement to Keeping It Real with KC, which is my daily thought. And before I mention the other platforms, just a heads up, I'm only doing one Keeping It Real with KC episode this coming weekend. So I'm only doing one. Usually I do 2 or 3, but there are things I'm working on administratively this weekend for the show and for my laptops, which also I will go into in a minute. There's so much stuff, and I have my lemon water, and I'm already getting thirsty, and I've been drinking a lot of water today. And not to sound disgusting or anything, but anytime I go to the bathroom and it's not clear or close to clear, I start drinking water like it's going out of style, which that's really all I drink anyway. It's rare I drink anything else. You know, I drink flaxseed milk. You know, I drink cranberry juice sometimes, but even then those are rare. Usually I'm drinking water, and now I drink a little bit more lemon water, but which I'm about to take a sip of for those who are listening. All right. Had to take a sip of that. So, doing one episode this weekend is more than likely going to be an album review, because I told you I don't really like doing entertainment news, because honestly, I don't care about celebrities. I don't care what they're doing. When I wake up, they're not on my mind, and it doesn't mean that I dislike them or anything like that. It's just I don't care. So it's difficult for me to cover sometimes that side of entertainment, because this isn't a Wendy Williams type thing where I'm worried about everyone else's business, and that's not a dig at her. If that's how she makes her money, that's how she makes her money, and she's great at what she does, but that's not my thing. So from time to time I'll talk about celebrities, but for the most part, it's whatever. But for the album review, just know whatever album I choose, it may be an old album or it may be a new album. I don't know. I will know by the time this weekend gets here. But I don't know right now. But it's only one episode this weekend. But for the rest of this week, obviously, for today, Thursday, and Friday, I'll still do my daily thought. Long as the universe gives me a voice in life, I will do my daily thought, because obviously I don't take anything for granted. All right, let me start off with my day. So, I woke up this morning. I was behind schedule. Part of the reason I was behind schedule is because my sleep was thrown off a little bit, even though I got a good amount of sleep. As you can tell, I have more energy right now than usual. So I was able to get something. I've only yawned twice today. Usually I've been yawning like 5 to 8 times a day, which to me, that's not my MO. I'm not one who's yawning all the time before mono happened and everything else. But today, and also yesterday, I barely yawned, and that was a good thing. Still a little bit dizzy-headed, but that's whatever. All right, so I woke up a little bit later than usual. However, I was like, well, it's not a big deal. I still have time. Let me go to my laptop. Let me do what I do. For those who may not know, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, I bought another laptop, too, because, as I said, the show is evolving. And in order for the show to evolve, I need to do things in a more expeditious manner. So, my new laptop that I bought, which I love, it is cool. It's the Asus ZenBook. It's the Asus Pro. It's the Asus ZenBook Pro Duo. It's the one with the screen, of course, the regular screen, and then it has a half a screen at the bottom above the keyboard, and you can move the applications between the two. And basically, it's like you have a screen and a half is what you have. And it's so convenient. It's fast. It's much faster. When I rip the audio out of these video episodes, it does it now in probably less than a minute. On my other laptop, which I love my other laptop too. She's been a great girl. She's hung in there, and she served me well. I appreciate her. It's the HP Beats laptop, and I've had that laptop for 3 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, give or take. So she's usually, back in the day, I'd upgrade every year. Those who know me, who have known me for a long time, they will tell you, every year I get a new laptop, period, just to upgrade. But after a while, I was like, okay, fine, I'll just thug it on out. If it works, and I'll deal with it. Well, the Beats laptop that I still have, it was doing the job, but it wasn't doing the job as fast as I would like. And there were other features that I wanted that would better help. That would be a attribute, or what's the other word? There's another word in the English language I'm trying to think of. It's not coming to me. And not supplement. It's I'll say boost, for lack of a better word, but there's a specific word in the English language that deals with a characteristic that is added to something and it increases the value of it. And there's a word, and it's not coming to me, but whatever. So there were features that I wanted that would increase the value of the show. And those features were not available on the laptop. And that's another reason why I got this one. All right. So this laptop that I bought isn't even, 2 days old? I think I got, what's today? I just said today. Today's Wednesday. So I got the laptop. Today's Wednesday. I think I got the laptop over the weekend, maybe. Or, no, it had to be before that. Maybe I got the laptop Friday or Thursday last week. I know it was recent. It was recent. It's been within a few days. So, I got the laptop. Everything was going great. Then this morning, last night, I had locked the laptop. So, screen goes black, fine, whatever. Because I knew it was still on, but locked. I wake up this morning, I hit my mouse, it doesn't work. Okay. So then I'm like, well, that's weird. Let me go ahead and hit the enter button. That's not working. So then I'm like, all right, fine. Let me just take out the battery. Come to find out, for this particular laptop, the battery is not detachable, where it's not like my battery is on my other laptop, on my Beats, my HP, where I could just rip it out, and which I had to replace that battery probably about 6 months ago on my Beats or whatever. So I can't just take out the battery. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I went online on YouTube and I'm like, okay, black screen, da 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 da. This dude started going through everything, saying you need to check the RAM. You're going to have to unscrew this and then take off the bottom part of every. I'm like, I didn't pay for this. This is not what I signed up for. I just want to turn on my computer so I can do my work, so I can record my show. Because as you know, I have another show that deals with politics, and that is the one I record in the morning. So already, because I'm going through trying to figure out what's going on with my laptop, I'm already behind schedule. So I'm listening to this guy. He's like, well, first you want to check the RAM and do this. I'm like, in the words of the great philosopher Sweet Brown, ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So I went to Asus's website, the manufacturer's website, and they were saying, well, try and detach the battery. I'm like, no, you didn't just say try and detach the battery. When you put the battery in the damn computer where you can't get to it without a SWAT team and and some drills. So, okay, that's off the table. And then they go to the next thing and they're like, well, if you can't detach the battery, then if your light is on or something like that, hold your power button and do all this other stuff. It's like, okay, fine. This is what I'll do. I'll pull all my little gadgets out because I have a gadget on the side. Because on this particular laptop, it doesn't have as many ports and stuff. So I bought an additional thing to stick in the side of it. It's the C drive or C port or whatever you want to call it, to do that, so I can have all of the other little bells and whistles that I need to stick in, whether it's for the Ethernet, whether it's for microphone, whether it's for whatever. And that's some of the things I'm working on behind the scenes, getting ready to get all that stuff done so I don't have to talk loud like this in front of the camera all the time, and I can just talk into my microphone and call it grace and move on. But anyways, I digress. So I pulled out all of the stuff from my laptop, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to hold this power button down for 40 seconds, and then we're going to see what happens. So I hold the power button down for 40 seconds. After that, I hit the power button. Then it comes on. And then it's like, don't turn off the computer. We're doing a BIOS update. BIOS. 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 BIOS update, which is something I believe that deals with the motherboard. All right, fine. And it's saying it should only take 60 seconds. Okay, 60 seconds. After all this other stuff I've been dealing with, fine. We'll go ahead and we'll wait for 60 seconds. So then it went, did its thing, and then it started flashing on the screen, giving the greeting. I think it says Asus looking for better, or whatever their tagline is on the damn laptop for the company. Okay, so that comes on. And then I'm waiting. It goes off again, then comes on again. And I'm like, okay, still waiting. And then finally, it came up. And I put in all my stuff. It's like, all right, you're good to go. Fine. So then I'm rushing to do my morning show. I had set up my camera different from where it is now. My camera for my morning show, I had set up on a tripod, and it's looking down. So the angle, and I'm a very vain person if you don't know by now. If you don't know now, you know I have a huge ego. I didn't like the shot that it was covering me in when it was aiming down. But at the same time, I was already behind schedule to record my show, and I couldn't record the show later on in the day because I record this show later on in the day, and I can't do two shows right after back to back and get everything uploaded when I need to get it uploaded. Okay. So I just was like, all right, we're going to charge it to the game. I'm just going to look the way I look with this shot and record the show. And it's like I'm talking politics anyway, so hopefully they're not even worried about how I look, even though I'm thinking about how I look. So did that, got that out the way. Now, the rest of the day slowed down. Everything was pretty mellow. But before all of that craziness that I just told you about happened, here we go into my daily thought. And I promise you, I am not making any of this up. All of this stuff is 100% true. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. This morning, from the night into the morning, I was dreaming back to back. And my SCM muscle is acting up again. Okay. Which for those who don't know, I learned this, and I believe I mentioned this before. these muscles in here, if you don't have good posture when you sit, if you're sitting at a chair and looking at your laptop all day, which is what I do, I look at laptops all day long for 12 to 14, maybe 16 hours a day. It can affect, even though my posture for the most part is pretty good, it can still, if you're looking down, it can still affect your SCM muscles, and it can cause headaches and other things, and then pain behind right here, and you can feel it, da-da-da. It can also cause your underarms to hurt. So, yeah. But I digress. Anyways, I had dreams all from the night going into the morning. And I woke up, which I didn't wake up that, how can I put this? I would wake up briefly, but it wasn't the usual wake up at night where I have to wake up, run to the bathroom real quick, and go back to bed. Because I only woke up maybe twice to go to the bathroom compared to 4 or 6 times how it used to be back a week and some change ago. That seems to have slowed down. So I guess my body's on some other type of ish now, which as long as the organs are working, I don't care. All right. Now, these dreams that I was having, I had to write this down while it was fresh on my mind. So, yesterday I had a Zoom call. Well, not Zoom. We use Google. We didn't use Zoom. We used Google. Long story short, I had a meeting yesterday with some people that I work with. And during that meeting, my apartment manager came by. He just happened to knock at that time. And that's not a dig at him, because he's real cool. And he's kind of easy on the eyes too. So it's all good. But he knocked and he asked the question about the car alarm, because there's a person who is next to the building whose car alarm goes off. And he wasn't sure where it was coming from. And his apartment is up from mine on the other side. Because I'm on the right, he's on the left, depending on whichever way, but you know what I'm talking about. He's on the opposite side, and he's up. So I was telling him, I said, well, if you're hearing a car alarm, I don't know if you're hearing that one, but I said, as for the one that usually goes off all the time, it's the one that is to the left of the building. If you're standing in front of the building, it's the parking lot to the left. I said, that car is very sensitive. And we were chopping it up, talking about that, because he was trying to figure it out, because he was saying that the car alarm goes off at odd times. He's like, it goes off at 3 in the morning. I said, well, I wouldn't know if it's going off at 3 in the morning because I'm asleep at 3 in the morning. And for those of you who don't know, if World War III happened and I was sleeping, I'd still be asleep, period. That's not even up for debate, because when I sleep, I sleep. The only thing that will wake me up from sleeping is if I need to go to the bathroom or if I naturally wake up. If one of those two things are not happening, odds are I'm not getting out the bed and I'm not waking up, and I will not hear it. That's just the way it is. All right. So we had that brief conversation while the meeting I was in for my job was going on. So then finally I come back to the meeting, we do that, da-da-da-da. All right, back to the dreams. So one of the dreams that I had was me in, I don't know if you've ever seen those kitchens in the restaurants that have the circle window in the door. It's like the circle window. We're in a different building. It's me and my apartment manager. I'm peeping through the circle window, and then I see he's coming into the kitchen, but it's it's an apartment-like building, but it's also in a kitchen area. Totally different building than what we live in. Totally different building than what we live in. So I'm looking and I'm peeping in. I see he's in there. So then I go, I push open the door, because it's not one of those that you turn, because for those particular doors, you just push them. They're, I guess, swing doors. I don't know if there's more of a technical term, but they're swing doors. So I just push it open, and then I go in and I see him pouring coffee or doing whatever. And then I start talking to him about what? Car alarms. We started talking about car alarms in the dream. And I was asking him, did you figure it out? This and that. Why am I having this dream? I know that some of you who are listening or watching the live because you have the conversation with your manager. I know that. But why am I having this dream? I didn't need to have this dream. I really didn't. So that's one of the dreams that I had. All right, on to the next one. So back a long time ago, when I first lived in Los Angeles, I worked for this company. It was a web hosting company. For those who may not know, I've worked different jobs throughout my lifetime. I've been working since I was 14 years old. Uncle Sam has been taking taxes out my check since I was 14 years old. No joke. Seriously. So, I've worked plenty of jobs. One of my jobs, I worked for a web hosting company. I created their first customer service training program. I did this, did that, yada, yada, yada. One of the girls that I worked with that has not even been on my mind at all, and not that she's a bad person or that I'm looking to avoid her or anything like that. It was this, she's Filipina. Really, really, really sweet girl. Used to get along with her very well. Her name was Lala. All right. So I had a dream that I ran into Lala. And mind you, I haven't seen or spoke to Lala. When I first lived in Los Angeles, that was in 2004. So 2004, and I believe I was working there 2005, maybe, because I worked there and then also I worked for a nonprofit as well, which that's another story within itself. But so we're in 2020, as if we could forget we were in 2020. So that's like minimum 15 years ago is what we're looking at. And as I said, this is not a dig at her. I always have to be clear with that, because sometimes people accuse me of being shady because they're like, you are so shady. And I just say things sometimes and people misinterpret what I mean. Now, sometimes, I can be shady, but yeah. Anyways, it's been 15 years. I haven't thought about her at all. She's in this dream. I meet her in the atrium, in this large atrium. If you've ever been on a cruise before, and the large atriums when you go in on the cruise ship, is just this big grand area and stuff. I see her in the atrium. I meet her. I briefly talk to her, and I don't recall what we talked about because obviously I've had a lot of dreams. I don't remember every single thing that was said. I just know that I spoke with her. We chopped it up in my dream. That was that, and that was it. So then that dream goes by. All right. So then I have another dream. This dream, because it's like I woke up and then went back to sleep, and it's like, okay. And woke up as in just, So then I had another dream. This one was with me in the doctor's office or a medical place or something like that with the nurse. This nurse is saying, well, your blood pressure is high. Your blood pressure is high. We're going to have to drain your blood to lower your blood pressure. So she has this machine. She takes a needle, jams it into my left arm to start draining blood out to, in this dream, lower my blood pressure, which I've never heard of draining blood to lower blood pressure. And I'm not even going to look it up because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because in real life, I do deal with blood pressure because I take blood pressure medication. Hypertension runs on my mother's side of the family. Okay. So I'm like, I'm not even going down that rabbit hole in real life to see can you lower your blood pressure by draining your blood? But that's what was going on. So she's draining my blood. So then in the midst of draining my blood, she looks and she's like, uh-oh, it's not going down. Well, yeah, So she talks into the machine that she pulled the needle out from to stick in my arm, to drain my blood, to lower my blood pressure. She starts talking into the machine. The machine becomes an intercom. And then she's like, I need a doctor here to give an opinion on this. I need a doctor here to give an opinion on this. And I'm looking at her like, what the hell is going on? So that's happening, and waiting for the doctor to come to give an opinion on why it's not going down while she's draining my blood. Then I wake up. All right. So then after that, I have another dream. I meet an alien, and the alien looks, it's not like, it has a head, arms, and hand, but the body doesn't, it has the shape. I don't know if you remember Batman, the animated series back a while ago, before the Batman Beyond series, the one before that one, with Clayface. That's kind of how the alien was, except a skinny version of Clayface. It didn't really have any detail or definition. It was just brown, like a like brown, as in Crayola brown, Crayola brown, and it didn't really have any face or definition. So the alien takes its hand and grabs my hand and starts draining my energy. And then I'm attempting to lift my right arm. I think it was because I was in the bed. I'm pretty sure it was my right arm. Long story short, I was attempting to lift my arm. I couldn't lift my arm in real life while I was dreaming, because in the dream, the alien was taking my energy. It was sapping my energy. So then the alien's doing something crazy and weird. I'm trying to lift my arm. I'm trying to get away from the alien. And I can't do it. I'm pretty much stuck. In the alien, its hand or clay or whatever is stuck to my hand, and it's still trying to suck out my energy. So I'm just like, wow. Woke up from that one. Now that one I stayed awake a little bit longer because that was disturbing to me, because I couldn't do anything. I felt powerless, and that is not a good feeling. So I'm already feeling like I'm worn out. Mind you, all of these dreams have happened since last night into this morning. This isn't, oh, well, this happened over a week period. All of this happened from last night going into this morning, and I'm not through. So, after the alien dream, I finally go back to sleep. Then, for whatever reason, Jamie Foxx, out of all people, is in this dream. And he's dressed up in a Halloween costume. And there are people with him, guys with him that are dressed up in Halloween costumes. It's mostly clownish, but not clown like in the It movie or anything like that. It's the design aesthetic is similar to, I don't know if you remember this old cartoon called Jim and the Holograms, which is also one of my favorite cartoons. They tried to make the movie, but the Jim fans, we weren't feeling it. But check out Jim sometimes. If you remember the Misfits, the way that the guys were dressed, in their clown costumes, it's as if the Misfits designer designed the clown costumes. They were kind of edgy, but still masculine, but borderline androgynous. And they were with Jamie Foxx. In this dream, Jamie Foxx was trying to fight me for whatever reason. And I'm steady telling him, I'm not looking to fight you. I don't have an issue with you, which is usually how I am in real life. I don't like conflict. I avoid confrontation, because when I flip the script, I flip the script. And that's when people see the other side of me, the other side that got me put in the mental institution. But that's another story for another day. All right. So I'm telling him that I don't want to fight him. But he's like, no, you got a problem with me? I'm like, Jamie, I don't want to fight you. I don't have an issue with you. So that's it. I keep walking away. Him and his crew in their stylishly designed clown costumes from the 80s designer, from an 80s designer, it seems. They keep following me in like, are you going to fight him? Da, 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 da. So I'm like, I don't have a problem with him. And I even said to somebody else, like, please tell him I don't have a problem with him. So then, after that, I woke up. I go back to sleep again. Then I start dreaming. I'm walking around with some people, for whatever reason, with this group of people, I decide, well, hey, let's slow down traffic. So I lay down in the middle of the road. Just randomly do it. Just to see if traffic will slow down. I lay down in the middle of the road. Which the cars stopped. But I just did it. And then the other people that, I guess the group, crew, whatever, clique, call it what you want, that I was with, they were looking at me and I was stopping traffic. Not the usual way I stop traffic. Joke. But traffic was stopping because I was laying down in the road. And I was doing it just to do it. Okay. And then finally I get up and then we just go ahead and we walk off. And that's that. And then I wake up. All of these dreams happen from last night to this morning. Last night to this morning. Not over the week. Not over a 72-hour period. Not even a 12-hour period. All of these dreams that I just told you about, all of them happened. So, here we are. And I don't know how to interpret any of it. Some things, some people might say, oh, well, it's obvious about the blood pressure thing. You deal with hypertension, da, 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 whatever, whatever. Or, oh, well, with the apartment manager thing, of course, you may have a dream about that, da, da, da. Look, I still don't see the point. I really don't. And even on a spiritual level, unpacking it. Because for those who may not know, we're close to Halloween. When it gets close to Halloween, they say, when it comes to the universe, when it comes to spirits and things like that, they say the veil between the natural and the supernatural becomes lighter when it gets closer and during Halloween. Except they say usually you will speak to spirits, meaning of like maybe family members or of people you may have known in your past. And I'm just like, that doesn't apply here. This was just some off the wall stuff. And then they say, well, don't eat certain things because that can cause you to have crazy dreams too. Well, guess what? Everything I ate last night, I've been eating for years. It's not like I had pizza with anchovies, pineapples, and pick something crazy, and strawberries. It's not like I ate something crazy off the wall like that, which I haven't even had. I don't even think I've had pizza all of 2020 anyway. So, what I ate last night, I've been eating. There wasn't anything within what I ate last night that was different. So I'm attempting to wrap my brain, and I can't believe this has been 30 minutes, we're almost 35 minutes in. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around all of this, around what's going on. Because yeah, these were some weird dreams, and it's thrown me for a loop. Part of me is like, okay, well, let's just call it what it is, weird, and move on. But I feel like some of this stuff is still going to be on my mind for the next few days, is what I feel like. And that is my daily thought for today. And I know people are like, what is he on? This is usually my level, and this is the level I would prefer to be at. But since I've been dealing with the after effects and other things related to mono, my energy level isn't always like this. However, yeah, because I'm like, right now, it's just like I'm very animated right now because that's how I'm feeling, because this is crazy. Anyways, and I didn't even call out all the other social media platforms. We'll do that right now. I've already said KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. If you are on Twitter or Instagram, KIRWKC, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you are watching this on YouTube or Dailymotion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. As I said before, my listenership seems to be growing in Ireland, which I love that, because it's like 20% on my other show of my listeners are in Ireland. So shout out to Ireland. I definitely plan on taking a trip to Ireland, which, by the way, side note for those who like the jet set, they are working on a new plane. I believe it's called Ovation or something like that, where it's going to be, if you guys remember the Concorde would fly from New York to London, and usually instead of it being like 6 or 8 hours, it'd be 4 hours or something of that nature. I forgot what the flight time was for Concorde. The new plane they're working on, or planes they're working on for this new release, it will be able to fly from New York to London in, I think they said 3 hours. So look it up. And also from Los Angeles to Tokyo in 4 hours. If they have something that goes from Los Angeles to Tokyo in 4 hours, I am so in. I'm in. But yeah, so that's going to be coming out. But as for Ireland, I do plan to visit Ireland. I want to see Ireland live and in person, because Ireland, from what I have seen, is beautiful. Anyways, thank you to everyone who have been listening to the show. The show is expanding. There are huge announcements coming in November. I'm keeping everything close to my vest right now, especially while Mercury is in retrograde, and especially while I'm having these crazy dreams. So yeah, just know the show is expanding. I'm happy, I'm thankful, and I wouldn't be able to do it if you guys were not listening to the show. So thank you for listening, and to those who take the time to also watch me and my face, thank you for doing that as well. I love all of you, listeners and watchers, more than you will ever know. Until next time, be blessed.